9:23 is your time now, and fleas, ticks, mud, even chewing gum, if it gets on your pets, you can pretty much guarantee it's going to get on the furniture, the carpet, and you. But you do not have to waste your money on expensive cleaners, because chances are the answers to your everyday pet problems sitting under your kitchen sink. First for Women Pet Solutions columnist and contributor Charlotte Reed is here to explain. In addition to, I think, the best doggy model I have, Roan. Always a pleasure to have Roan come.
And feel her coat. It's so silky.
Very, very soft. Did you do anything special for Roan's
She got a bath a few days ago, but one of the best things when you have people coming over or your doggy's ears get like cruddy from the wet food, a combination of baking soda, 1 part baking soda and 1 part cornstarch. So you can sprinkle it on the dog like this, so everyone can see that. Right. You let it sit in for 15 minutes, and then you just brush it out.
That's it.
And what happens is the baking soda deodorizes, and the cornstarch makes the hair silky smooth. And then any excess, you see it's coming out on the brush right here, and then any excess, what you do is you'll just take a towel and you rub it all out, and then just feel it.
Simple enough. Wow.
Simple enough. Okay, next problem. What do you do when you have that tuna water from the tuna fish can?
I pour it down the drain normally.
Well, I don't, because I have all those dogs and cats. So what I usually do is I like to use low sodium albacore, because I don't want the pets to have extra salt. So what I usually do is it's usually the excess is about a 1/4 cup.
Right.
I add a 1/4 cup of water and I freeze it, and like little moles, like those, you know, kind of shells, kind of things like that. And I make popsicles for the dogs, tuna flavored popsicles. And for the cats,
genius.
I take a tablespoon and I add it to the water, because a lot of cats, if they don't drink, they get urinary tract infections. So this is one way to flavor the broth, and they enjoy it. But you want to make sure it's low sodium. Okay, problem. What do you do when people are coming over and you have pets? You've seen that commercial where she's got the hair, she's walking out the door.
What do you do?
My husband always yells at me because I always recycle the sponges. He's a chef, he's always telling me about food safety. I wash them, I keep them, so when people come over, I wet them, either a sponge or a rubber glove. You wet it and you go across the surface of the couch.
It picks up the hair.
And it picks up the hair.
Oh wow, easy.
Very easy. Next up, what do you do with fleas and ticks? Okay, usually I use a lemon. So I usually take a lemon, I slice it up, I put it in some boiling water with 1/3 cup of rosemary. Rosemary is something a lot of people grow. So you boil it up, you wait 5 minutes, you let it simmer overnight till it's room temperature. And then I like to use these spray bottles. So this is like a little, and you want to spray it on your dog to prevent fleas and ticks, especially
that smells good.
It's lemony, right?
Yeah.
Very lemony.
Oh, very light.
And then you spray it behind the ears, under the arms, like right over here, the tail, so that the fleas, because those are the spots where the fleas always are. Okay,
that's a lot less expensive than a lot of collars.
Pennies a day. Next solution, you always have olive oil in the house. The problem is, what do you do with those cruddy dog food bowls? They're so disgusting. You're scrubbing with the sponge, you can't get it. So you add a little, about 1/3 of a teaspoon. Now I say 1/3 because you have to remember olive oil has calories, and you don't want your pet to get any fatter. So you grease the bowl like you would a pan with the olive oil.
With the crud all in it?
No, this is with a clean bowl. You grease the pan, then you put your wet food in. Generally, the pet will not eat all the wet food now, and then also lick the olive oil, which is good because it's loaded with fatty acids, omega-6s and 9s, and it's good for skin and coat.
How about that?
Next up, the cat who loves to go into the planter. What do you do? Well, if you don't have stones or shells, you know how you always have those shells from the beach left over? Okay, well, if you don't have, that's always a good deterrent, because what generally happens is cats don't like to have their paws like walking on an uneven, rough surface, or you can use aluminum foil. Now, I just picked up this brand because it's recycled. So anybody who has aluminum foil they've used already for Thanksgiving, just give it a little scrub, save it, dry it, and then you can put it on your plants. Okay, everybody has apple cider vinegar and white vinegar. White vinegar is great for cleaning. So if you have one of those stinky litter boxes, use a mild detergent to clean it out, add about 1/2 inch of white vinegar, let it sit for about 30 minutes, and it'll get all of the odor away. The acidity just cleans it.
And the cat's okay with it, meaning?
Cat's okay, it's all natural. Like I said, you want to use a mild detergent. I like to use something like, you know, one of the regular products, the ones that you see that have the little animals on the cover that they use for the oil spills. Next up, apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar is great not only for fleas, but it's also great for getting the excess out of your hair, or if you have a dog with dry hair. Now, if you have a dog with dry hair, it could be a symptom of a disease or a problem, so you want to definitely check it out. But if you have an older dog, you can spray the apple cider vinegar on your pet's coat. Now, like I said, I like to use these spray bottles. Now, you smell the apple cider vinegar.
Yes,
but
I
the
do.
great thing is when it dries, you don't smell it.
Oh, okay.
And the best thing
and
is
Rowan
that
doesn't seem to care.
you can leave it in as a conditioner, or you can do a rinse. The other thing is you can
Oh,
spray
you
it on
did
your
not.
hair.
Get out of here.
Because any of the excess buildup from shampoos, it's great for that too.
It'll
So
slough it
you
off.
and your dog can have like a gorgeous mane, nice and shiny. Last up, all of these containers. Now this was a container of, I didn't have it, it was light sour cream from the supermarket here. And so many dogs and cats are fat. So I like to make these toys with these containers. And the pets roll it around and they shake it. So now they have to actually work for their meal.
Genius.
Right?
And they're just playing at the same time.
And they play it for a few times. And generally with cats, because they like to eat all day long, you kind of break it up. So you can put, generally, you want to look at the back of your cat food bag or your dog food label, look to see how many calories versus what your cat needs. So cats generally, indoor cats, spayed indoor cats, have 180 to 200 calories. So you measure that out. Usually it's a half a cup of your food. If it's a good quality food, you stick a half a cup in here and they just roll it around and bat it out. And everyone can see all of the chunks come out, and they also come out through the side.
And they're going to eat all of it. They're going to try to find every bit of it.
Yeah, and if you're worried about, you know, the cat food on the floor, just put your cat in the kitchen, or if you have one of those cats who are up at night, who are nocturnal creatures.
Wow, Charlotte, you know, simple but almost genius.
And pennies a day.
Wow. For more tips from Charlotte Reed, because we know we went kind of fast, you can just log onto our website and click on the Good Day tab.